Hi, my name is Jennifer Evans. I'm the ELA consultant at St. Clair County RESA, and we are starting a new project called Guided Reading by the Month, where we will have kindergarten through 5th grade teachers videotape a guided reading lesson as they progress through the school year, so that you will be able to see what the teachers do in the beginning of the year and how they set up the routines and procedures, all the way through what's taking place as students learn the work that they are applying in guided reading into their independent practice. So we hope you enjoy this episode of Guided Reading by the Month.
Hi there, I'm Miranda Landshoot. I teach kindergarten at Keewhadenn Elementary. I have a class of 25. So at the beginning of the year, I try to, as quickly as possible, to pull each child back individually to give a quick assessment. I'm looking at letter identification for upper and lowercase, sounds, if they can know any word walt words. And I try to do that as quickly as possible just to kind of get an idea of where they're at and stuff. To keep track of all of that stuff for each child, I have our binder. They get to write their name for me. We do some counting and stuff. But this is where I keep track of how they're doing. So I have a spot for me to keep track of the letters, each exact letter for upper and lowercase, what sounds they know. This is also where I could put, if they're making other mistakes, I try to put in what letter they're saying to see if it's something that consistently happens. So this is kind of for my personal use to get a glance at exactly what they're telling me. The graphs are more just for the kids to be able to see what their goal is and how they can see themselves growing. So this was her letter sounds. So we're up to April, so she's got them all. This was her letter ID. These are her sounds. So the kids really like to see that. They like to know where they're going, and then once they get there, they get to sign our little poster that's right behind me. So that's kind of like a little goal for kindergarten that they love to see. I also do the word identification. So, it's very common that this is where they are coming in at. So, we just keep working on it. And this is what helps me to get that first idea of where they're going to be for guided reading lessons. With this group, I felt for majority of the year, I had a pretty low group, a really, really high group, and then everyone else kind of in the middle was pretty similar. So it wasn't like 5 or 6 different lessons every week. I did like one pre-A lesson plan most of the time, the higher one, and then the middle one kind of just based on what I was seeing in the group and stuff. So when I do the guided reading, this is always by my side. Still, like every lesson that I do, when we had our PD where we had made our notes, so I know exactly where to find all of this stuff, to do a quick review of what page number certain things are on to get some ideas. So this stuff is always next to me when I am planning my groups. To keep track of my groups, I just have my binder. And what is really nice that I did was just, these are removable, because with kindergarten these groups are changing so often. I try to pull the kids back once a month just to kind of get an idea of where they're at. And that kind of really guides what group they're going to be in. So it's very easy. If you look at my plans and stuff, you'll see that the groups changed throughout the year just based on where they were. With kindergarten, they can make a big jump. So a lot of them, even though they were pre at the beginning of the year, by the next month they were already emergent and stuff. So I think it's important to call them back and just kind of get a little glimpse. And that's not set in stone exactly what they know, but it gives me an idea of kind of where they're at. So a lot of moving around happens. I felt that this was an easy way to be able to do that. When I'm planning my lessons, it's based on just observation. When we're doing like our phonemic awareness mini lessons and stuff, I might jot a note down that a certain child's having problem with rhyming or something, so that might occur in our next lesson for guided reading. Sometimes if I'm noticing a particular issue with all the kids right in my group, it might change the whole lesson and kind of go on what they need at that minute. So it's kind of on the wing, and the nice thing about kindergarten, they don't know if you changed your lesson. So you know, it's a lot of just like group activities. Sometimes I will make, we'll give them each, like this one we were doing picture sorts, and I would give each kid a certain letter or something just so I could get a little peek of exactly what, if they were able to do it or not, rather than them looking at their partner or doing it. When we do our phonemic awareness, a lot of it is whole group, but sometimes they like to do something called teacher versus class, and they try to beat me. So each kid gets to answer, and then that's another time for me to jot down, you know, oh, okay, they weren't able to do it. They needed some extra help and stuff to also help guide. A lot of my notes too, I keep them busy, and we're busy the whole group time. But a lot of my notes are if the story was a little too tricky for someone, if they were reading word by word, maybe if they need to switch to a different group. So I kind of will look at those notes when I'm planning the next lesson. I think it made it very easy just by following the lesson plans. It's all laid out very nicely for you. It tells you exactly what to do, when to do it, activities to go along with it. I feel the kids really enjoy coming back. I mean, sometimes like they get excited, like, who's at your table today? Who's at your table today? And you'll see a little like, yes, you know, when they get to come back there. So I feel like the kids enjoy it. They like working with a smaller group. They like, you know, cheering each other on. I enjoy it because I think sometimes with a big class of 25, it's hard to see growth and stuff. So when you do have your little group back there, like, wow, she didn't know any letters and now she's reading at a level 4 or 5, like, that's really impressive. So I think it's important for the kids and the teachers. I mean, and I can look back and see a lot of that growth for this. I think in order to make guided reading the most effective is just to do it and keep doing it. If something doesn't work out, make note of it and then change it. And I'm telling you, just like if you follow this, you really can't go wrong. You have the plans all written out for you. It does take a little bit of play at the beginning with your groups, especially with kindergarten when they come in and you don't really have any data on them. But once you get that data and you get into your routine, it takes us a while. I mean, it's not like I'm doing guided reading the second week of school. No, in order to get to that point, and at the beginning of my videos, you saw that we were building stamina. And that can take anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. We really focused on really getting them to be able to work independently for 15 minutes. That was our first goal. And then, so it was a lot of, okay, you're not working, stop. You know, we'll try again in a little bit. So I think just to really get that plan, we do daily 5 during guided reading time. It's a time where the kids enjoy, so they don't mind being there and doing it by themselves. It's a special time for them where they get to choose where they want to go. They get to choose their activity. So they're excited to go to their job as well as the group that's coming to me. And once they get into the routine, I mean, if you keep doing it. My table knows if their name's up on the board to come to my table, they get out their boards, they practice their words until we get, you know, until I come over. When I sit down, their boards are erased and we're started. So, so I just feel like if you utilize the guided reading book, ask teachers, you know, just keep bringing it in, ask what's working for them, taking lots of notes, using those notes, I think will make it the most beneficial.
Well, on behalf of your district, the Port Huron Area School District, and our St. Clair County RESA, I would like to thank you for participating in this project to help your district with the rollout of guided reading. They selected you for a purpose, and we appreciate you allowing us into your classroom every month to provide the guided reading instruction that you have given to your students. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Guided Reading by the Month. We'll see you next time.